This is an HR program on demand, a living seed capsule of work life and workplace coming live from a rooftop in Stockholm, Sweden. It's me, Ann-Marie Andrich, and
me, Katarina Berg.
A vodcast, if you like, on HR, straight across the counter. Sponsored by HR The Real Deal, HR by HR for HR.
Happy New Year, Katarina.
Happy New Year.
I'm shouting.
Yes. In the new year, I'm going to be louder than ever. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. 2023.
Yes.
We're looking forward.
I think we are. I think you have to. I think that is the kind of the view of life, right?
Yes. So, as per tradition,
yes,
my dear.
Yes.
You set out a few predictions when we start the year. So what are the predictions for 2023?
I think it's getting harder and harder to predict, but I think it's also a good kind of exercise for your brain to, okay, so what are we entering and where will we focus as a team? So I think it's the easy one this year in November and December, and now also in the beginning of the year is we're going to have a lot of focus on the macroeconomics, right, and the macro environment, and I think we have to all adjust to that. And I don't think it's a kind of a let's panic or let's do anything dramatic. It's more about being very, very prudent and trying to stay ahead and then do adjustments. Very, very tiring, and also, can create both worries, concerns, and anxiety, obviously, in any organization. But I think the opposite, if you don't think about it and plan for it and also adjust, I think there will be more serious, actually, consequences.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the snow.
Yes, it's coming down quite hard right now. Yeah,
but it's nice.
Yeah.
It's very winterish. So for definitely macroeconomics.
Yes.
We will clearly, it will affect us. We will need to adjust, as you say, and try to stay ahead as much as you can. Right.
Yes.
So specifically for Spotify, what is when you look into that? I was going to say magic mushroom, but that's not the right.
That is not the right thing
How do
to
you
say or do. Kids, don't try
Sorry.
that at home.
Sorry,
No magic
How do you
mushrooms.
say the magic ball?
The crystal.
The crystal ball.
Yes.
That's how you say it.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
When you look into that crystal ball.
Yes, that I have two of, actually.
Do you?
That's why I'm so smart.
Are you so
Yes.
smart? So, okay.
Yeah.
Smart you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you see?
Okay, so I think there are a couple of trends, or I think there are a couple of things that I think it's easy to say that's going to continue. I think the trend and the focus of learning will still be very, very important, even maybe more so when a lot of things changes in the landscape, and also the things that is acquired from all of us as professionals, no matter if you're staying put or if you will try kind of your luck somewhere else and try a new job or a new employer. So I think that, and how will we manage those expectations as an individual, but also as a company? So I think that is one of the trends, to be honest. So I'm in the camp that I almost thought that the discussions of upskill and cross skill and off skill was getting a bit tired, even if L&D is kind of one of my biggest loves and the areas where I feel most confident and also comfortable. But I thought it was a lot of using the word more like a buzzword.
Yes.
And not so much about what it actually means for an organization or for individuals. So, but I think the learning trend will be there, and I think that is a good thing.
And maybe it's not a trend anymore.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
it's something that it should be embedded in our DNA.
Yeah. And
Good.
then another trend, maybe you are right. That is a very bad. But another prediction is that everything. Yes, it's snow everywhere. But it is that the future of work will be on focus, right?
Yeah.
And what that means, and also the near future, not just the future. So I think every company needs to dig where they are. I think you have to keep on having the dialogue with your people. Also, that it needs to resonate with your business, and not so, being worried about what anybody is saying or what your trends. You just follow your own data. You listen to your people. you adjust, you iterate, and you do the things that is correct for whatever works for you. I think you have to. We have said it so many times on this roof. I think I've written it in so many blog posts and also in answering so many different journalists and in articles and in other pods. But you have to stay humble. Nobody has all the answers, right? And it's an ongoing experiment. But obviously there are a couple of things that we also know from history and about mankind and about behaviors and especially about needs. So I don't think it's like a black and white of it works, it does not work. There's not one solution that fits everybody. True. And everything and every company. So you have to be a bit smart about it, I think, and be also honest and be very open about it in your own organization of the changes you do, the tweaks that you do, and why you are doing that.
Exactly.
And the thing is, it will not be one size fits all. It will not accommodate every individual, but there are also tweaks within the kind of the programs or the processes or the way that you do work, right? And if it's not one of those, hey, it's always going to be there. But the things that are not working right now, and I think that is the important thing, the things that are not working right now is because we have had more than 100 years of working in the old way, right? Yes. So going back to that or going to that, like your blanket when you get a bit scared or that we see the climate out there not being all that easy, obviously you will go as a human being or as a manager or as an organization, you will go back to what you knew. Right? But going back is usually not the right thing. It's going forward into something that sometimes is unknown and try to make that work. I think that is kind of one of the things that will be very, very important. And on top of that, I think also another thing that everybody has been talking about the last 2 years is diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. We will continue to do that because it's important and not just because it's the right thing to do. But I think it's going to be more tangible things. I think it's going to be less programs and projects and, hey, look at this and we're doing this and starting new things. Because I think that is actually an optical noise. And I think it calmed everybody down like we're doing something. But I think it's going to be back to fewer things that actually is more of changing the system, the things that are systematic and the things that are in the structure and trying to see what we can do there. So we have not like we go a bit left and then we go a bit right, then we stay a bit in the center. But as long as we're doing things, everybody will not be on our back that we are not taking this serious.
Right.
I think again back to a couple of few things that we need to do to really change the things that are not up to standard when it comes to diversity, equity and inclusion and belonging.
So it's not about the amount of activities, it's more like choose those that will have a lasting impact.
Yeah, and less of the flashy things, right? You can do this and you can talk about that and you put yourself in so many different, whatever activities but I think you did that for a good reason.
Yeah.
And I think you also did that a bit to quiet things down and also maybe not necessarily look a bird, but thinking and hoping that that would help. I think what we see with the companies that are trying really hard, yes, there's been progress, but I think there could even be more progress if you work with the things that sometimes is not necessarily the things that you see, that is that easy to talk about, that has to do with the boring stuff, but actually changes both the company and a society, that has to do with the structural and systematic things that are not working in a way that it's actually equity.
True. My God, it's snowing.
I love it. It's really, really nice.
It's beautiful. So these were the three. Let's say is that the overarching priorities or focus areas for you at Spotify?
No, it's not going to be the only three. It's going to be more things, obviously, but as always, it's going to be okay. So last year we grew with more than 4,000 people, and we're going to grow this year too. And compared to most other companies our size, it's going to be hyper growth, even if it's going to be not 4,000 people.
Right.
And this year, instead of just piling new people and smart people coming in, we will focus on actually executing, which is also a thing that you need to do. We've been in hypergrowth for I think almost 10 years. And last year was just out of the whatever. So how do we now organize ourselves in a way that it actually helps everything that we want to build and ship? And also, how do we make sure that every person can navigate and find themselves in a position where they can do impact and have a part of what we are trying to do and achieve during 2023 and 2024. So I'm looking forward. It's going to be a defining year in so many ways, and I feel very, very positive about it. I have to say.
It feels like we say this every year. It's going to be a defining year.
Yes,
but it is.
It
right?
is, and I'm also I'm happy. I think the team is in a good place. I think all the kind of the baselines, all the processes, all the things that we want to do, and all the things that we also dare to kill, like darlings of. This is the way you should do, and this I have to say, I have a brave bunch that works at Spotify, and I think they also dare to kind of kill some chosen truths, things that really worked out for us, and pressure test that and go like, okay, so that was good, and it actually took us here. So what will take us, the next step and the next step. So a lots to look forward to, and can't wait to get started.
Excellent. And a lot for us to cover.
Yeah.
Picking up the snow.
Yeah.
A lot for us to cover
Yeah.
during the year
Yes.
following your progress.
Yes.
Okay, we obviously need to close this one now.
Yes.
Shall we?
Yes.
We're looking forward to 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't you throw that. Don't you dare.
So, Anne-Marie,
let's close it.
Safe. Stay close
Stay
for once,
safe.
and stay strong, and stay playful. Idde medalje.
Idde medalje. Stay playful. 2023! Happy New Year! Katarina. Hello. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Är den här på... Jag tänkte man kunde göra ett hjärta. Okej.
Eller så står jag så här, som i upp.
Men alltså, det är tomte. Kolla på den här.
Ha?
Kolla, jag är helt vit upp till på tuvan. Så här.
Why?
Kolla i den. Som en mushroom.
Okay, like a mushroom.
Like a mushroom. Hon har Börje. Börje med oss in spirit.
Börje forever. So Börje, okay, so this is a true story. He's an icon, he's a legend. He is also the best hockey player ever in Sweden. He used to play for my team, the Maple Leafs in Toronto. He stayed there and he was loyal to that team forever. And he always had number 21. He just died in ALS, which is really, really sad. And it's an awful disease. And I think there is not one person, at least my generation, that doesn't have a Börje story, which is strange, right? He's a famous person. I don't know him, but as a 21-year-old student in Lund, I went to Canada. And everywhere where I said I was Swedish, they opened their doors, and I got into, we could camp on people's kind of gardens or forests, which you can't do there otherwise. Got invited to people's homes because they wanted to talk ice hockey or Börje. And then a couple of years later on the Stockholm Water Festival, that doesn't exist anymore, I was standing down here, and there was like a box with Canadian beer, or a shop or whatever, stand-up, pop-up store. And I said, oh, I just spent 2 years in Canada and I really like this beer. And then the guy walked up next to me and said, like, why do you like the beer? I like it because it's Canadian, I like the taste of it, and also this guy, Börje Salming, he's my hero, and he opened, like for 5 weeks I traveled in Canada, And I met only nice people because of him. And he said, like, I'm really happy to hear that. And I looked up and it was Börje Salming. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, yes, no, only Börje, not my God. And then, so I also have my own Börje Salming story. So I think everybody, and I saw when he passed that there wasn't one person that has not met him that think he's the friendliest, the nicest, and most generous, but also a hockey icon. Yeah, sad to see him go.